Good evening to everyone watching us across Cameroon, and good evening to everyone across the globe. My name is Mimi Mefoneu, and this is Road to Etudi, a special political program that is aimed at speaking with political analysts, politicians, presidential candidates ahead of tomorrow's presidential election. Tomorrow simply means that we are now just few hours to the most contentious, most anticipated and historic election in the history of Cameroon. Over 8 million people are expected to cast their votes in what has been described as unprecedented election in the nation's history. Since independence in 1960 and 1961, Cameroon has had only two presidents, the incumbent, who is President Paul Biya, and now the world's oldest leader and second longest serving is vying for another term in office. Not just the second term or the third term, but the eighth term in office. The election tomorrow will decide whether he will return to his village in the south region of Cameroon or remains at the Etudi Palace in the center region, which is the town of Yaoundé. However, due to delays in announcing election results and unclear processes, particularly in the counting process, many Cameroonians have created a platform to gather results independently. They've taken it upon themselves. They've said it is a duty. And the goal is to ensure that the outcome declared by the Constitutional Council reflects the true will of the people of Cameroon. Those will be voting in the northwest, southwest, center, west region, the littoral region, the far north, north, Adamawa, the east, and the south. Their votes should be able to reflect especially their wills. Now, this program that I talked about is called Disô. Today, we are joined by the head of the Disô project to explain how it works and what is being done to ensure that votes are not just counted, the exact votes and the will of the people prevails in the upcoming presidential election. Not more upcoming, we have just very few hours. Hello,
Yeah.
Barrister Michèle Ndoki. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Hello, Mimi. Hello, everyone. And yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you also for coming. So, welcome to the program today. We have 8 million Cameroonians expected to cast their ballots tomorrow, which is the 12th of October. And many say that the elections in Cameroon are always rigged. People don't believe in the credibility of the country's election. Let's start with this simple question. What is this so exactly, and what makes it very different from other civic initiatives that we've seen in Cameroon in the past?
It started by an acknowledgement of the learnings from the last elections in 2018. We were all in agreement after the elections that the results that were published did not truly reflect the will of Cameroonians, but we were unable to say what were the true results. So the thinking of the co-founders of the Nation Builders organization was to say, what makes an election a special moment in the life of a country is that it is a process that it's owned by the people. So let's make sure that when it comes to deciding who is going to be the head of state in 2025, we as a people, we own the process, we own the election, and we own the result. And the only way that appeared to us as the best to own the result was to organize ourselves in a way that will allow us to know for sure what was the decisions of Cameroonians at the end of the day. So that's how the whole project started. How do we organize ourselves to make sure that we know what we have decided as soon as the day following the elections?
Yes, thank you for that response. You've been a strong advocate of for democracy since 2018 and even before. I know you several years even before you took part in the 2018 presidential election, I mean, your party. What really inspired you to come up with this initiative of Les Bâtisseurs de la Nation? And there should certainly be that particular turning point that convinced you that citizens were supposed to step in and take matters into their hands. What is that turning point?
The moment I realized that this election, we were about to make it about the leaders again and not about the people. You know, we've been having so many conversations over the past 2 years or so around who is entitled to run for the office and not. Is the incumbent old, too old, not old, in good health, not in good health? So it was all about people, who is on this side, who is on the other side. And there were those funny conversations about who the clans that appeared at the level of the presidency. So many things that made us think, but hang on a minute. We are the owner of this country. How come when we are discussing the fate of the country, the destiny of the country, we're not talking about us? We're talking about a few people that are by definition replaceable. That's how we got to that point, that what is missing in the Cameroonian political arena is not a new set of leaders, a new generation, or new political parties. What is missing is a strong civil society. So it all started by saying, okay, let's unite Cameroonians as a people. Plus, we were so concerned and even worried with so many issues that were plaguing Cameroon: tribalism, the feeling of abandonment from our brothers and sisters in Southwest and Northwest, feeling of being second-class citizens from our brothers and sisters in the northern part of the country. So many things that were wrong when we were talking about what it means to be Cameroonians, that made us realize, okay, what we want to fix as a priority, if we want to make this country a better place to be, we need to fix the civil society, in the sense that we need to get Cameroonians to remember who they are, how powerful they are, how bold, how smart and all that. How do we make sure that we stand tall and strong when it comes to talking about the destiny, our common destiny? Then how to make sure that our leaders, when they are candidates, come to us with humility, because they know they have to deserve our trust. They have to deserve to be chosen, and they have to feel accountable once they've been chosen, and to live up to our expectations. Otherwise, they don't deserve to remain on seat. So a civil society that is strong will bring that to the country. We bring the willingness to vote, cast your vote, bring the willingness to protect your voice, etc., etc. That's how we decided, okay, instead of complaining about something that is not there, we are going to make that happen. We are going to offer to our fellow compatriots an organization, a structure, logistics, in order to express their voice as a people. That's how
So,
it started.
yes, Disô has been received by many Cameroonians with open arms, because for the first time they feel like the responsibilities are in their hands to make that decision, to decide about who wins based on the will of the people and not based on a regime that has been in place and alleging to be rigging elections for decades. Now, the decision is in the hands of Cameroonians. I just saw someone there with a very beautiful comment that the power has to return to the people, and for unsure reasons, or unfortunately, the people were not informed. So it gives me the impression that the people feel now that they have enough information and they are well armed for tomorrow. That is why you can see thousands of people also watching this live stream that we are relaying on our Facebook page, our YouTube, and our X. We want to also urge them, please share so that the information can go as far and wide as possible. But talking about Disô, it's been described as a coalition effort, bringing together Les Bâtisseurs de la Nation, Project C, which is Project C, C for Cameroon and C for Change, and also the WCA, a think tank group, ElectionCheck, FAC, Protège Ton Vote, as well as others. How did this partnership come together, and what gives it legitimacy in the eyes of the public?
I will say our diversity. That is what, because, we came together because we were feeling the urge to focus on what matters. We feel sometimes, and very often, more often than not, so powerless, so weak, so vulnerable to the powers that be, that any single organization, especially in the context of Cameroon, where at the beginning of the year, you will remember that civil society organizations in particular faced crackdown. I can't call it any other way. A crackdown from the authorities, from the minister in charge of administration.
The territorial administration.
Territorial administration. I had the word in French in my mind. So saying, oh, they are illegal, and basically at the end of the day, stopping civil society organizations' activity in the country. Nothing less. So in that context, we felt we have to stop the silo thinking, silo acting, going out there like I'm giving it my all. It doesn't matter if I succeed, at least I have to try something. We decided we don't want to just try. We want to succeed. And so we have to put every chances on our side to succeed. And this started with, let's unite. And we also had this context of leaders, candidates in particular, being called upon to unite and present one candidate, a consensual candidate, coalition candidate. And this whole debate invaded the public arena. And it was all about, if we don't have one single candidate, then we might as well stay back home because the incumbent will win. So we started saying, but if the candidates are not united, the people who make the call are the voters. So let's make sure we unite the voters and let's show them how we can come together as civil society organizations so that they have also this hunger to come together, to forget about tribalism, forget about northern and southern part of the country, being Muslim or Christian, being Anglophone or Francophone. Just focus on our common issues and our common dream for our country, our common willingness to see our children leaving that idea of going to Europe by crossing the desert on their feet. Let's start again, dreaming bold, being together, saying, oh, we are going to do this, and we are going to be one and speak from one voice, from the farthest village in northern Cameroon to the Equatorial Guinea border, from the Nigerian border to the Central African Republic border. Let's create that feeling that we are one, truly one, and that we aspire to change this country by starting with changing our leadership team, because it's not just about the head of state, it is about the whole system that his team embodies. It is about showing ourselves and the world how great we can be if we don't allow old, incompetent people to lead us. So that feeling, by just sitting there talking with some other leaders, we were so different. You have a lawyer on one side, and on the other side you have a young rapper, and then you have a nurse, and then so different, from so different tribes and from so different generations. Then it did not matter. Once it did not matter. What mattered was, what are we going to do for our country? What are the possibilities we are creating for our countries? And everybody was thinking alike. The singers started singing songs about registering to vote, and comedians started creating small plays to put on the social media about the fact that we have to vote. And so everybody was just, starting to dream aloud. And that's how we said, but it's obvious. We are going for the same thing. We each have a strength that the neighbor does not have. And if we come together, we are invincible. And we can see that happening. If you see how the campaign went, if you see how the people went out to welcome their leaders in their towns, and how all the leaders, not just one, remember 2018, you barely had one or two leaders going to 3-4 towns, capital of regions. But this time around, everybody was on the road from 3 months, 2 months before, trying to be everywhere, all of them, because they realized actually the people, we make the difference, and they have to deserve that vote. They have to deserve that vote.
That's very, yeah.
So that next step was then, let us not just encourage people to vote. Make sure that we know what they have decided. How do we organize us? Just like an army, you have those who will be in front, you have those who come after, who are taking care of the right side, the left side. Our own objective was to make sure that comes October 13th, we will be able to say, okay, this is what Cameroonians have decided in our view, based on our observation of what happened in the polling stations.
So thank you so much for that explanation. And I can see a lot of people welcoming the idea. They are so excited about it. And they feel like, okay, this could be the beginning of something. Even though there's still a lot of people that, I can see a lot of people that are still skeptical. Now, you're aiming to mobilize, that's the goal, right? To mobilize about 30,000 volunteers nationwide. That's very, very ambitious,
Yes,
in a country like Cameroon, where people, or some of the polling stations are in very interior localities, and, So how would you be able to reach people in all these regions, given the fact that some areas are inaccessible, some areas are in conflict, and so on and so forth? So how will you be able to do that?
That's an interesting question. And I was smiling listening to it because it reminded me one thing that the Minister of Territorial Affairs said, that it's impossible for some people to say they can announce the results because you cannot be in Douala and saying that you will get the result from Kusiri. Forgetting that in this our age, you have technology. We did something very simple. Remembering that everywhere you have a polling station, you have voters. So if you want observers, rely on voters instead of trying to gather 30,000 people somewhere and then dispatch them. Go get the news to the areas where you need people and get those people to reach out to you. And it has happened. I received messages from Idabatu. I received a message from Isangele. I received messages from Mokolo, Kaele, Tokombere, Lomie. I mean, places I will never, Lolodorf, places I will never have gone to. But we realized we didn't need to. We just needed to make sure through people like you, Mimi, and your program, through social media, make sure that those people know that we are looking out for them. We are looking for them, and we want them to shout out if they want to be members of this new adventure. Put a number, a WhatsApp number through which they could reach out to us. And that's exactly what happened. Once we started putting out there this number, we will receive hundreds of messages a day from Cameroonians all over the place saying, I want to be a volunteer. The rest was logistics. It was not easy. This is a pioneer of initiative, and there are lots of challenges. For instance, you say you want 30,000 people, but you need to know where you want them, which means you need to know where the polling stations are located. Unfortunately, LECAM will keep that as, I don't know, life of death or death matter. They will not want transparency, despite everything the political leaders have tried. They will not want us to know about the list of polling stations. They just published it earlier this week, and published it in a way that will make it non-useful to us, because you want to compile the result through using technology, which means you need a database of the polling station, a database of the volunteers, and match the two. So what we did was to use technology to reach out to people and tell them to get back to us with their contact name, number, check whether they are truly voters, where they registered, and then providing training. Tell them, because Cameroonians struggle with their rights. At first, there will be so many questions. Are you going to get accreditation? Are you sure this is legal? Are you a legally created organizations and things? But over time, people started to focus on what really mattered. How is that going to work? What can I do? How can I help? Where do I get this training? I have this question, and this is where we are today. Nobody is asking about legality. Everybody, actually, Cameroonians have started, because of the threats from the minister, they started saying, we are going to fight for what we believe is right, and we are going to observe, no matter
Yes,
what.
so there's something about human beings that the more they are threatened, the more they are determined to win the fight,
Yes,
because it
absolutely.
only tells Cameroonians that they are doing something that is right,
Exactly.
and someone is scared of seeing them free at last. I see your questions about me endorsing a candidate. I would respond if you stay on till the end of this conversation, which is important. For the moment, the conversation is about Disô. So please, for those who are joining and also commenting, please share with others so that they can be informed about Disô, because this is very crucial for tomorrow's voting.
Yes.
Madam Michèle Ndoki, a key feature of Disô is actually the technological aspect of it, and you've said it. So this is Disô. This is the platform. Can you explain in practical terms how this platform is working, particularly how volunteers can be able to submit the results securely, even in areas where there is no internet?
Okay. So you have two platforms, as you can see on the message that is scrolling down. You have two platforms. You have Disô, and you have Electis. Electis is the solution that is there for those who have registered, because since, as I said, September last year, we were mobilizing people to get enrolled. So we had thousands of people who registered to be observers, who were trained, etc. Those will be reaching out to us through SMSs. So from tomorrow, they will receive a text message because of our worry, concern that there might be problems with internet, and actually problems have already started. But they will receive a code and they can send the result. We have designed a format. They will send the result by SMSs through that channel. Second option is for people to go to this platform, which is a web-based app. When you get in from tomorrow, you have two options. Either you are registered as an observer, or you were not and you are just a concerned citizen who have been there to watch the counting, and then you have results to share. So you click, you specify where you are sending your report from, etc., and then you can upload your report. It could be a form that you filled in, could be a picture, either the picture of the blackboard or the picture of the counting report, or counting report blackboard. Could also be that you noted down the result and then you take a picture of it.
Yeah.
Using artificial intelligence, we would then compile the result. And that is how we are going to be able, hopefully, to provide results from the following day. What you've just seen are tools that are available. I don't know if we can come back to that screen. Tools that are available if we have challenges with the internet. For instance, you can download a VPN to secure your connection. That will work if you have issues like they've tried to block our platform, or they've tried to block WhatsApp, or they've tried to block Facebook. VPN will then allow you to circumvent that blockage, because it's the way it works. It will reroute your signal, and the system will be unable to locate you in Cameroon. So that's how you go through the ban that has been put in place by the authorities.
So this is very interesting, looking at how secure the website is and the fact that you are also incorporating the aspect of VPN, as we can see on the screen. So Cameroonians can be rest assured that they are going to be safe while navigating through this website. But skeptics might want to ask, people who are a little bit skeptical will be asking, how can the public trust the figures or data coming from Disô? What safeguards are you putting in place to ensure that there's accuracy and prevent false reporting or false manipulation from people of, you never know. There are people who could infiltrate and say they are going to give you the false result to discredit Disô. So what measures are you going to put in place to ensure that it doesn't happen and that the data that Disô collects are actually credible?
But basically, you are not just giving figures; you're also giving proofs of what you're saying. So you are showing the picture, and you are uploading the picture of the results that you are keying in, you are logging in. So that's a thing. The other precautions that we took were one, to register people. So in time, those are people we know. They were organized by regions, by division sometimes. So they got to know each other and build trust among one another. You have a system that will geolocalize with GPS where you are at the moment you send your report, so as to flag any discrepancy. For instance, if you are sending 10 reports on results in Manu, and your telephone appears to be located in Yaoundé, obviously there's a problem there. So those are the kind of precautions that we took to make sure that there's coherence, and that there's you can trace the results and tie it to a particular polling station, a particular place, etc. And of course, you key in number of voters, number of people registered, number of voters, number of votes per candidate, and you have to make sure all the figures match. So the total of votes cannot be above the total of people registered, for instance.
Yeah.
This is also something that, and we do have now the list of polling stations with the number of people registered there. So when you log in as a voter and you say, I am in this particular polling station, you cannot key in results that will not be in how do you call it? That will not be tying the number of registered voters as we know it from the database from the get-go. I don't know if I make sense. So
yes,
so you cannot put in, for instance, that in this polling station, candidate XYZ has won by 500 votes, got 500 votes, where we know before you logged in that this particular polling station only has 185 voters.
Okay, there's also someone who is asking that what if the person turns off the location service on their phone?
So then it will be flagged as an issue.
Okay.
Yes. So we've put in place some alerts like that, and that means those results will be analyzed before we can put those into account.
Okay, so Minister Paul Atanganji recently warned individuals, organizations publishing election results and said that he was going to deal with organizations like Disô. So he said he was.
You are bound to get that when
He said he was going to unleash his dogs behind him. So
Okay.
how do you respond to that? Does Disô violate any law, and where do you draw the line between citizen observation and official results declaration, which has to be done in lines with the law in place? We know you are also a barrister at law.
Yes. Okay, this is how it works. The counting is being done by scrutineers at the polling station. The president of the polling station bureau, who is the representative of Elecam, is compelled by law to announce the result of the polling station there, and there. So you do the counting at the end of the day right there, and you announce the results right there. What the observer does after that is just repeating what he's been told. That is called freedom of expression. That is called freedom of information. And that is something that has always been done in previous election. You will have journalists going around all around the place and saying, oh, in Yaoundé, this polling station, I was there. This is how the counting was done, and this is the result. And you see the picture of the blackboard and with the result on it, and there's nothing wrong with that. The reason it is Paul Atanganji and not the minister in charge of justice. Let us remember that Paul Atanganji is not in charge of prosecution of people who breach the law in this country. Last time I checked, his responsibility included taking care of people who are suffering security, safety issues, for instance, after natural disasters, like in the northern part of the country. And he's done nothing about it. So back to our topic. He can say whatever he wants. He's not a lawyer. You cannot blame him. But what the law states is that counting is being done in the presence of the voter at the polling station just after the close for the day. And the results are announced there. The rest is just us adding numbers. So there's nothing wrong with civil society, citizens, it's not even civil society, citizens organizing themselves in the country. The thing that makes them shout like that is, it is the first time in the history of this country that we have an organization this magnitude. Reality is even CPDM, even the government, the authorities, they bring together Elecam, administration, CPDM, and they are unable to provide those results the day of the elections, like you see everywhere else in the world. They are unable to provide it the following
but that's
day.
also intentional, because when
Yes,
that's also intentional, it's on purpose, because that's when rigging takes place. Yes.
Of course. So they are obliged to collect the reports and sit down in front of their computer to start changing the figures in their Excel spreadsheet. That's why you have to wait for 1 week or 2 weeks before you get the results. But with technology, and that has happened countless times in Africa and out of Africa and Southern America, Southern Asia, people, civil society organizations gather and they do that job. They've just done that in Malawi. And actually, it's dear to my heart because we received a letter, a message on WhatsApp from someone from Malawi who said, oh, we've heard about what you were doing. And this initiative is fantastic. We are going to do the same thing in Malawi, and we are going to call this initiative, Disô, which means I in a local language in Malawi, which is exactly what it means in Douala, which is a local language in our country. So Malawi did that. Yes, Malawi did that. And last week, they announced the result. The national organization in charge.
Shockingly, an old president came back and won. There was pure democracy in the country, even though the president was trying to hold the neck of the election commission, that no declaring of the election result. The people stood up and said, no, we already know what the results are. You cannot cheat us. Yeah.
So you guys listen carefully, because that is about to happen in Cameroon. The president tried to pressurize the National Electoral Commission, telling them, okay, you are going to announce the result and have won. Because a group of civil society organizations had come up before with their observers, publishing the result, the Electoral Commission said, I'm sorry. We are sorry, sir. We are not going to do that. Allow us to do our job freely. And they did their job, and for once resist to the pressure and announce the result, and the president won, and the incumbent lost the election. So you can see now the power of the people, because had Malawi citizens not organized themselves as voters to make sure they know what they have decided,
this would not have been possible.
Yes, the Electoral Commission would have been under the spell of the incumbent president. So this is what is at stake.
I even remember the situation of Malawi, where we could see Lazarus Chakwera really like holding tight, because he had just been in office for one term, right? So normally he should be expecting to be there for more than a term and be voted again, but he was kicked out by a former president who came in. So this could be a very determining time for the Cameroon, and Cameroonians have, like you say, Cameroonians have the yam and the knife to make the decision. I also just want to thank Dada MP, who is sharing massively and telling people to share, because I think to him or her, the conversation is very important. And we really just want to appreciate those who are reposting this live stream and also commenting. We see all your comments, your wonderful comments, and your contributions in the comment section. And we also just wanted to mention to our technicians that please, if possible, in the comment section, you can just also paste the link of the app, because people are asking, where is the link? So when you go to the website, you'll be able to see the countdown till tomorrow when the polls will open. So, Madam Michèle Ndoki, what happens on election day? That's one of the biggest curiosity, and the day after the election, which is going to be from Monday, right? Will the public see the results in real time as it is happening, as they are voting in Douala, in the far north, and in Garoua, in Bamenda? And will the public, and how do you expect this transparency to influence the credibility of the former outcome? Do you think that it would have any impact at all on the former outcome?
Oh, yes. We've just talked about Malawi. For sure, the minute Cameroonians know what the truth is, they will be ready to stand for it. See how people were determined to get their voters' card. I mean, I was in shock because it was unprecedented. People will be staying in a Lekam office from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. waiting for their voters' card. Some people will tell you, I was there, I've been here since Monday. And he's talking like that, we are Thursday. A mother will tell you, I left my children at school in the morning and I'm still here. They are blocked in the school and I'm still here. I'm waiting for my voters' card. This is to tell you how determined people are to seize this opportunity, to choose their leader. And it's not just about the leader that is going to win the election. It is about the people And the fact that they now know it is our call to make and no one else's. It's not about God is helping us. It's not something that we are just sitting back and life is happening to us. This is us making it happen. Whether we don't want to do something or we want to do something, the consequences are always on us. This time around, we've decided we are not going to lay back and we are going to choose our leader and we are going to demand the change and we are going to sanction him if he does not live up to the standards that Cameroonians have set for themselves this time around. And I could not be more proud.
And we also just want to thank you for keeping Cameroon so close to your heart, despite all the challenges, the attacks. Sometimes we can be capricious sometimes, but we know that you have the best interests of the country at heart. And
I know
also,
you have a wonderful heart deep inside.
yes. So beyond this election, what future do you imagine for Cameroon if citizens truly take ownership of their democracy? What message do you have for those who still think that the votes don't matter, the elections, going to the polls doesn't really matter to them? What is your message? And for those who are watching, please, you can send your questions as we are rounding up.
I would say when you say that, you are saying that you don't matter. There's a reason why so many young people and less remember. I always remember that lady, 37 years old, a mother of two, including a teenager, decided to go to Libya, to Europe, crossing Libya, and died in the desert. I think I will never forget that lady and the young men who were around her saying, "We are sorry, we are in the middle of the desert and she's dying. We've been trying, we've been carrying her. We cannot, there's nothing we can do for her. We just want her family to know that unfortunately, she can no longer continue the journey." What kind of country are we? What kind of people, what kind of leaders are we allowing ourselves to have that we will put people in that kind of situation? We've been in living in chaos in Northwest and Southwest for more than 8 years, and the first responsibility of the leader of a nation is to ensure that the citizen live in safety and security. He's giving up on that years ago. He does not care. What kind of people are we that we work and we
So probably the network of Barrister Michèle Ndoki is acting up. That is probably what the situation will be in Cameroon between certainly this night and then tomorrow. So that's why Disô has ensured that even on the web, the website, there are possibilities for people to be able to send out information using the VPN, as you can see. A lot of people are joining and commenting. We have a lot of people on YouTube and on Facebook watching, and also on our Twitter platform. We just want to say thank you so much, and we are hoping that if we cannot have Michelle, then we'll have to conclude. MMI has been able to play its own part. I see a lot of people saying that we should endorse, or I should endorse. So I just wanted to tell Cameroonians at this point in time that our platform has been able to show all of you that we are for one thing, for the betterment of Cameroonians and for change in Cameroon. Cameroonians need What kind of country do they want to see in the next 5 years? If you're a mother, what kind of future do you want to see for your children? If you're a grandfather, for your grandchildren, if you're a grandmother, for your grandchildren, if you're an auntie, you're a young girl, what kind of future do you want to see? And if you're a teacher, a lecturer, you think that your child would want to be a medical doctor, look at the medical doctors around you. You feel comfortable. And if you're a journalist, do you think that you can work freely with any media house you want to work with in Cameroon and not be intimidated and not be arrested and jailed? Ask yourself that question. And because the answer is actually no, that is why I, as Mimime for Info, I'm not speaking on behalf of MMI, say that I would say with full chest, I would say with all confidence that it's time for change in the country. Because we don't want to wake up on Monday morning, the 13th of October, and still be governed by a country that is run by killers of journalists, jailers of journalists. Cameroon is ranked so low when it comes to press, freedom of expression, and free speech in the country, and free media. Journalists are not free to do their job. We cannot even operate freely in our country. And unfortunately, because of that, it is impossible to even think in a positive light about what they call the balance sheet of the government that is in place. So I think more than 40 years is enough for the current system. It is time for Cameroonians to really take their destiny into their hands. For those who are asking whether I should endorse a candidate, what I will say actually is, I've spoken to all of them. I gave you the opportunity to listen to all of them, but unfortunately, I will not be able to separate myself from the MMI news team, which is a media. I am an individual and MMI is a media. For those who have understood that, I'm happy to know that you've understood that dynamics, that MMI is different from Mimimefo. But if I endorse a candidate, I'll not be able to separate myself from the media that I work for, a media that I've built for over the years. And for that reason, as a media organ, we cannot be seen as endorsing a particular candidate since we have objectively covered the opposition candidates from the very start of this competition. I call it a competition because one person is expected to emerge, and that person will be the definite decision of Cameroonians. And I also want to say that as someone that have talked to opposition leaders, like the leader of the Social Democratic Front, I've talked to the leader of the Issa Shoma Bakari, I've talked to Honorable Joshua Osi of the SDF, I've talked to Kabralibi, Honorable Kabralibi, Honorable Tomainon Damjoya, who is the only lady in this competition. I've also talked to Ateki Caxton, I've talked to Akere Mona, the two of them are no longer in the race. I've talked to members of the UNDP political party. I've talked to, in fact, almost all the opposition party candidates. It is not professional for me as a journalist to back any of them. But as a media, we give you that opportunity to listen. And through our media, you were able to know who is who and what your decision will be. We are here. The only thing I can promise you as Cameroonians is MMI is actively working for change in the country, and that's what we've always stood for since we created this platform. For those who have been supporting us, thank you so much. I will never stop saying thank you. For those who have been supporting me as an individual, I want to say really, really thank you. What I can promise you is that tomorrow is going to be a very decisive day. It's going to be like a do or die, in the sense that the entire day we are going to be streaming what happens in the different regions of Cameroon. In fact, Cameroon online and offline, Cameroons at home and abroad, will be having first-hand information on what is happening in all the regions of the country. We will tell you what is happening in Boya, in Bamenda, in Douala, in Garoua, in Marua, in Yaoundé, in Boya, if I've said it already, in Fumban, in Bafoussam. We are going to be bringing, and also even in Kribi, we will be bringing on board people that will be talking about what is happening across all the regions of Cameroon. And we will be here to report nothing but the truth. So I think Barrister Michèle Ndoki has still joined us again. Barrister, I don't want to see if there are questions for you.
There The quality of the network is horrible here.
It's not
I don't know.
good. It's not good. It's not good. Yes, Jimmy Onana. Yes, you say I work for the media and to the people, not a particular person. Thank you for understanding that. So, you as an individual endorse, but you will not be able to separate me from MMI. So it's a bit difficult to do that. So, Barrister, I'm trying to see if there are people who have questions for you. So, what happens? Okay, we've talked about the VPN. So is there any other way? Okay, we've talked about also the SMS. And then as a Cameroon, you're also a Cameroonian, despite being the head of
Yes.
despite being the head of Project C, you are also a Cameroonian.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your advice to the people of Cameroon who are watching?
Just go there, be there. Make this day of tomorrow the biggest day of your life. I mean, get people out of their homes, everyone. Like this school in your neighborhood has become the place to be for that day. The more you have people gathered in that place, the less they will play with the result. And then our organization will do the rest. And obviously, be ready to stand for what you believe is right after that day, because this is the beginning of a new era for Cameroon.
So what are you going to do with the result? If someone else is declared, someone different from the one you saw as the winner,
it will
what will you
not be
do?
for, and I think that is the whole point of the project. It is to make it clear that this is not about a leader. You know, I'm not saying what I'm saying as a political leader for an organization. What we are saying is we are taking back the ownership of this issue and our common destiny. So what will happen is if somebody is trying to steal away this decision from us, we will protect it. I know we will protect it. There's no doubt about that. And somebody mentioned it in an earlier call today. There are 40,000 military, 30,000 police officers. We are 28 million Cameroonians. Math is simple. So this time around, because we are determined to be respected as a people, we respect ourselves as a people, we will be respected.
And then I'm seeing a lot of people saying, really promising that they will vote and protect their votes. And one person is saying that the youth will do their best. Yes,
Victory
I'm
is
sure
already
that.
ours.
Yes. So
Ours.
there's also a question about there was a very important question there about yes, how to use the VPN. Is there any practical way, like just a simple explanation on how to go about using VPN?
No, you just have to download it. When you go to the website, the disô.com, you just have to choose one, you download it, and from there, you can use your browser normal, just like you do normally.
Okay. So do you have any final words for the people watching you? We have a lot of people watching. It's like, yeah.
It's an exciting time to be alive. It's an exciting time to be alive. I can feel it in my bones. And I've said that before. This would be the answer to as a person, my prayer. I so much prayed to God that we will witness that day, that we will vote out this dictator. We will vote him out. It's not like he decided to stay there and until death do us part, we will remain there. We will vote him. Since he decided not to step down when he realized he was not fit for the job anymore, we asked him to step down. He said he won't. We are voting him out. of his office in choosing our leader for the first time in the history of that country. Isn't that what Cameroonian is and stand for? The word Cameroon stand for. Isn't that why we are calling ourselves lions? Isn't that why we call ourselves the continent Africa? We are making this happen. Tomorrow is the first day of the rest of our lives and of Cameroonian history. God bless Cameroon.
God bless Cameroon indeed, and we can see the activist side of Barrister Michèle Ndoki because she can just switch from a politician to an activist, and also now she's an actor of the civil society, trying to really make things very good and beautiful for all Cameroonians. And Petty is saying that I feel the victory for tomorrow. Victor say that 40 years is a lot, and of course, indeed, is too much. And a lot of people there, have you translated? Okay, maybe just a final message to those who are watching in French, just briefly. Someone is asking whether you could say something in French as well.
Ok, oh, enfant de ma terre, contente d'avoir quand même l'occasion de dire quelques mots en français. Il y aura d'autres émissions en français, bien sûr. Merci d'être là. Je disais tout à l'heure que c'est une période extraordinaire pour être en vie. C'est une période extraordinaire pour être Camerounais et pour être ici. Et je ne voudrais pas être ailleurs. Vous savez que, peut-être vous ne savez pas, vous pouvez imaginer que à cause de ce projet ou grâce à ce projet, j'ai attiré l'attention des autorités et j'ai fait l'objet de menaces. Et les membres de ma famille, pour certains, m'ont déconseillé de rester au Cameroun dans cette période troublée. Mais
Okay.
nous allons changer la trajectoire de ce pays. Nous allons le faire ensemble. Nous, les petits, les rieneux, les gens qui n'ont aucune importance, qui n'ont pas de voix, qui n'ont pas de courage, qui n'ont pas d'honnêteté. Toutes ces horribles choses que nous avons dites sur nous-mêmes sont en passe de changer. Nous sommes une grande et belle nation. Et nous allons leur prouver. À demain. Devant les urnes, que personne...
Yeah, there's someone who is saying that they need to pay before they log into the website.
No, not at all. What an idea.
Yeah, just to assure people that is you
Pas
cannot.
du tout.
It doesn't even make sense that you have to pay. So it's a free website.
To pay whom? For what? No, not at all.
Yes. Thank you so much, Barrister.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
You've done so much. I remember in 2018 when you were shot and you had to go through all the trials that we can think of. And I think that the battle is not won until we see change in the country, and that's what everyone is fighting for. I can only wish you and the Disô team all the best. We will also have you tomorrow during the live stream to also explain what exactly is happening, what updates we are having. Yes, Cameroonians are so much anticipating to see what tomorrow will be like. Thank you so much, Barrister, and God bless you. And to those who are watching, we want to say thank you for watching. This program came to you thanks to the entire Road to the production team and to the entire MMI team. It's always a pleasure knowing that you're watching, wherever you're watching from. Please follow us, comment, and also share. Don't forget to comment and share. And also follow our YouTube page, Facebook, and all our platforms. Please follow and share. Tomorrow, always remember, our viewers, remember, Cameroonians watching, that time has come, and tomorrow is going to be the fact that your vote, only your vote alone counts. Remember that as you are going to be going to the polls. Thank you for watching, and thank you for always being there. And until we meet again, it's bye for now.